That's how I'm gonna start the show. Let's go. This week couldn't have been any better as a 49er fan. We got to sit back and watch. We watched the Rams lose, the Cowboys lose, the Eagles lose. I mean, as a Niners fan, y'all always hate us, so I'm just gonna hate on y'all's teams right now. What a time
What
to
a
be
time.
alive, to
And
be a
not
Niner
only
fan.
that, I don't want to get too cocky or, get in over my head, but we also got to find out that we're playing the Packers in the playoffs. And we know how that's gone in the past. That's another good thing that we found out.
Let's keep it in our favor. Man, it was just a great weekend. But before we get too far ahead, you guys know the deal. This is the Can't Lose Show. I'm your host, Trent.
And it's your boy Josh.
Let's go. Let's look back at these games this past weekend, because wild card weekend we had 6 games. 2 teams had a bye. The Eagles, 49ers were all well rested now.
49ers, Ravens.
What did I say?
Eagles, 49ers.
Ugh. Ugh. Ravens, 49ers.
They're gonna be well rested though.
They already booked their Cancun trip. But yeah, 49ers, Ravens, well rested, recovered. So let's go back to these games. Browns, Texans. Started off the weekend. What a game for the Texans, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely controlled the game, destroyed the Browns in all facets of the game.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning of the game, it looked like it was about to be a shootout. I mean, what did we say? Like, I know we were talking about it in the first, second quarter. This game is about to be crazy. And I mean, the Texans came out in the second half, and like D'Amico did last season with the Niners, they made those adjustments, and I mean, it paid off, dude.
Yeah, 2 pick-sixes in a row.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco got, that was an ugly game for him in the second half.
I mean, the thing is, Joe Flacco, we've said it, he slings it. But with that, I want to say every single game since he's played with the Browns, he's thrown a pick, and most of them he's thrown multiple. He's thrown multiple
Yeah, he had
picks in
8
a lot of their
turnovers in
games.
5 games.
Yeah,
before this game.
He's throwing a lot of picks, so yeah, he slings it, but he can be careless with the ball. And I mean, in the playoffs,
You can't have that.
when you're playing good teams, good defenses, well coached teams, can't have it, like you said.
Yeah, and C.J. Stroud, he didn't have crazy number, like
I mean, 16 to 21 and like 270, 3 tutties.
in a playoff debut. Yes, okay, those are crazy
Yeah.
numbers. Now we're saying it out loud.
Yeah. He didn't have to throw the ball 40 times. Maybe that's why, but he still threw for 270 on 16.
Yeah, he still balled.
Yeah.
And that game, just congrats to D'Amico on getting his first playoff dub as head coach.
Yeah, huge.
And C.J. Stroud for balling. And honestly, I could cheer for them until the AFC pitcher's done with, because they're on the AFC side.
I think the Texans are the new Lions on the Can't Lose show. Especially, now that it's playoffs, the Lions are coming down to it.
Yeah.
Texans are the new Lions. We're riding for the Texans over here.
Yeah, we are. Next game was...
Until we see them possibly in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Dolphins, Chiefs. This game, we both had wrong. We both predicted the Dolphins to win.
Yeah.
And honestly, I should have known.
Yeah.
Cold game. Patrick Mahomes performs. And it's hard for Miami, a team that comes from 80, 90, 100-degree weather, to go play in the 4th coldest game in NFL history.
Yep. And then you got, just the experience alone in KC.
Yeah.
Mahomes, the amount of playoff games he's won already. That I remember looking at the numbers of the quarterbacks remaining in the playoffs or something, and the amount of games. I think it was 14 playoff games, maybe
15.
15, insane. He's not that deep into his season or his career, and already got that many playoff wins. A lot of guys don't get that many ever.
Yeah.
So insane. The experience helped. Jayce was this close last week to convincing us to switch over, especially when he mentioned all the injuries that Miami had. But the hatred that Niners fans have for the Chiefs, especially when it gets to this time in the season.
Mm-hmm. Talking about Jayce, we're going to have him on later.
Mm-hmm.
I know we kind of talked about it, but for you guys, we will be having him on later in the show, so welcome back in. But yeah, the Chiefs won 26-7 and did it very convincingly.
Yeah, Tua just, man, I know he's an island boy, but gosh, dude, he did not play his best football. Played probably some of his worst football.
Yeah.
And dude, the Chiefs, I know they've had Rashee Rice all season.
But he's coming along.
He's coming along at the right time. He's had his bright spots. He's had his drops. He's probably been one of their best receivers all season. Not probably. Has been for sure.
Yeah, has been.
but he stepped up big time in the games that matter the most. And I mean, that was huge for them. 8 for 130 and a touchdown, big time.
Yeah. The Cheetah did get in the end zone, and that was their only touchdown. But obviously, you're not going to win a game scoring one touchdown in a shootout of a playoff game against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Next game was.
I don't know if any team will ever beat the Chiefs with one touchdown.
No.
That's going to be hard.
The next game we have written down on our paper is the Packers at Cowboys. Man, this game did not go how I expected it,
No.
but I'm not complaining one bit.
Me either. Yeah, I was not expecting either. We both said the Cowboys were going to win. I had people telling me all week that Packers were going to upset, and I just didn't believe it. The Cowboys were riding high into the playoffs. They had a big win against a divisional opponent, and the Commanders going into the playoffs. They played some good ball this season. Obviously, they didn't beat a single team with the winning record. We're not counting the Lions game.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess it showed, dude. Once you get into the playoffs, all the teams have winning records.
Yeah, the Packers just came in and ran the ball down their throat, and they couldn't stop it. And then Jordan Love beat them in the air, too. It's like they beat them on every aspect of the game, and they didn't slow down. And half of those points, the 32 points, were all garbage time, game already blown out of the water. I was watching this game at Lucille's, and I was texting you, and it just was.
Yeah. I mean, what a week.
Packers all day.
Yeah, what a week, though, for these young receivers. You got Rashee Rice, 8 for 130. You got Romeo Dobbs for like 150 yards, like one of the nastiest routes, and completely broke off Stephon Gilmore. Had him off the screen. That was insane on that. Whatever.
People were saying Stephon Gilmore's got to pack it up and be a family man.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, and then you got Puka, broke the record. We'll get into that. And then, I mean, Amon-Ra's still young. The Eagles or the Bucks receiver, Josh Palmer, I mean, that big play.
Bro, he's so fast.
Dude, and then
he's so fast.
I saw, they said, look up the stats. Every time he tweets and he wakes up, I'm pissed
angry.
off. Yeah, I woke up pissed off. I woke up angry. I'm pissed off today. He scores a touchdown. He has himself a game.
You need to start tweeting that every Sunday for the Bucks.
Yeah, just wake up angry, Josh Palmer.
Yeah. The next game we have, and you hinted at Puka breaking the record, but it wasn't enough. Rams at Lions, 24-23 Lions.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was one of those games that I told you, like, the Lions have not had football gods on their side.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking the Rams are going to find a way and kick a last-second field goal. Thankfully, for Lions fans, and our show has been pulling for the Lions, it didn't happen. But I will go on record and say this is the last time I pull for the Lions this season.
This is where the train stops.
For us.
Yeah.
It may pick up next year, but with them looking as good as they are, they might not need that background hype anymore, and they may be their own team, and so forth. But this game, Rams lost.
Dude, we can't talk about this game though. Obviously, the best game of the divisional round or wild card round, by far. I mean, a lot of these games weren't that close. I mean, none of these games were close except for this one. This was the only game that was really close. I mean, dude, I know Rams are our number one rival now. Ever since 3-4 years ago, it's been the Rams and the Niners. But Stafford is one tough motherfucker, dude. Tough ass dude.
Always has been, always will be.
Yeah, gotta give respect to him. I hate the Rams, but dude, he is a tough guy. There's no way in hell I thought he was coming back after that play. Even my brother said, remember last season, I think it was, they were talking about he could possibly retire from some of the hits he was taking to the head. Dude, I thought there's no way he plays the rest of this game.
I didn't even think he was going to get up.
My brother didn't think he was going to play another play in NFL ever again. He's like, this could be his last play ever. Dude, he looked like Tua when that whole situation happened. It did not look good. The life went out of his eyes. Can't believe he got up and kept playing. And got so close to winning the game.
Shoulder injury.
Faked.
Well, didn't fake, but like he made it look more like a shoulder rather than the head.
Oh.
It was a vet move, so he didn't get concussion tested, but it just I'm still in.
I didn't even notice that.
I'm still in shock that he got up.
Yeah, it did not make sense to me. He was getting banged up all play. They were talking all game. They were talking about the cut on his hand, like whoop-de-doo. But still, every other time, he's a warrior. He was getting banged around, and he stayed in there till the last second. And what?
No, he said banged around.
I know. I was thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, and then you got Goff too, dude. 22 of 27,
Yeah, giving it to his
dominating.
former team, and that's what you got to do when
Yeah.
the lights are bright and the team just basically said, "Nah, you're not good enough for us." You got you. If he says publicly like, "Oh, it's another game, it's a playoff game," like I got to perform. No, there's more to it. Like
Hmm.
that history was there,
Yeah.
and
Everyone knew it. Campbell said it after the game. You're good enough for us. You're good enough for Detroit. I
yeah,
think everyone knows there was a little bit more, especially for Goff in that game.
yeah. We went from such a great game to not so. We're going to a not so great game. Steelers Bills. Um, Honestly, I thought this game was going to get blown out of the water. Another game I was texting you about. I was texting you every game,
Yeah.
but the Bills came out strong and put it on the Steelers early. But the Steelers never gave up. I will say that, and the score is a little more respectable than what it could have been. 31-17 Bills.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a 20-point deficit. I thought Bills were going to keep rolling into the second half and it was going to get real bad. But like you said, Steelers fought, but damn, did Josh Allen look good. He
That
looked
run.
good. That run, I mean, dude,
I didn't know he was that fast.
yeah, he took off on that play. I forgot about that play till right now. And then I mean, he still had 3 touchdowns in the air, touchdown on the ground. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think he didn't lead their team because James Cook had himself a game too, about 80 rushing yards. But Josh Allen did his thing in both in the air and on the ground.
Yep. Um,
And the Steelers just didn't look. I mean, I expected that to be honest.
yeah. And what the league might call a shocking game, I don't, but the league might. Eagles at Bucks. Bucks just roll past the Eagles 32-9 in an absolute blowout to end Jason Kelsey's career.
Yeah, sad to see him go. Shout out Jason
Yeah,
Kelsey.
shout out Jason Kelsey. You've done a lot for the sport. You're going out on top because honestly, you're the number one center and could still be the number one center next year. So you're just walking away from the game at the time you want, not when someone's telling you.
Yeah, I
Have a
mean,
great podcast. Like,
I think his body's telling him to walk away too.
yeah.
You listen to him on his podcast and everything. He's hurting all the
Mm-hmm.
time, every day. He's hurting. I think. I mean, he's ready, dude. But man, the Eagles just could not tackle on defense.
No.
I told you I was watching the Manning cast, and it was like you could you could see that it was frustrating Ray Lewis when he was on the show. Their tackling was frustrating him. He's like, this is just fundamental football that they're not playing. They're not doing the fundamentals. They're not tackling. They're not running to the football. And he made a great point that I want to highlight. He was saying how these guys, they're running to the play after it's a big play. No, you got to run to the ball when it's thrown. When you see the guy, he's getting the ball, then you run full speed and you hope your guys are there to gang tackle and cut back into another player. You don't wait for him. You go and get that guy. And they were not doing that. Their tackling was, I mean, horrendous.
Awful.
Awful.
Ever since they played the 49ers, and that you're going to be like, of course, a 49er fan saying this. But ever since they played the 49ers, their defense has just looked so defeated. And like the effort they've given on every single game, making tackles or trying to make the play, it just it doesn't seem fitting for an Eagles team that just came off a Super Bowl run that was supposed to be top dogs in the NFC. It's looked off, and I didn't think they were gonna switch it on for the playoffs magically. Like their seasons look like that since they played the 49ers. And that's why it's not surprising the Bucks just rolled past this game. Baker Mayfield had himself a day.
Yeah. I
And
mean, he missed some throws, but damn, I mean, he got it done when he needed to.
Baker was baking. Shout out Jayce for the
Shout
quote.
out Jayce. And dude, don't sleep on Rachaad White. Underrated, been balling all season.
Mm-hmm.
He can catch passes out of the backfield. He can run the shit out of the ball. 72 rushing yards, 4 yards a carry. He did his thing too.
And shout out the Bucks defense. I mean,
Dude,
the
their
Eagles
D
are
line.
yeah, the Eagles are like they have a good offense, a good enough offense to put up major points.
And a
And
great O line.
Yeah, you hold them to 9 points. You stuff the tush push,
Stuffed it.
and you controlled the Eagles' offensive line, which you don't see very often at all.
I mean, dude, number 94, I think I don't know how to pronounce his name. I just saw number 94, Kalijah Cansey. If that's not how you pronounce it, I'm sorry because
Sounds right.
he had himself a game. The push that he got on that freaking safety. Oh my gosh, he drove that guy back like 6 yards, forced Jalen Hurts to get out of the pocket, and then I mean Jalen Hurts just threw it away at the last second.
Yeah.
He had no other option really. I mean, I don't know what you do in that situation, but Kalijah Cansey had himself a game. The push he was getting all game. I mean, he was putting pressure on Jalen Hurts.
And going back to the tush push stop, Vita Vea. That's how you say his name, right? Okay, that collision at the bottom, him and Jason Kelsey. How bad do you think that had to hurt both of them? Like two big ass dudes, and just they drop. It's hard to get that low, but for both of them, and then Vita Vea getting just a bit lower, like that's a crazy collision, and that's probably why Jason Kelsey's truly walking away. He said it on tush pushes, like he hates those plays. He knows it has to happen.
I was gonna say he says "fuck my life" every single play, and Jalen Hurts apparently confirmed it.
Yeah, it's crazy, but shout out the Bucks, and they controlled. And
I mean, what a divisional round if you're a Niners fan. Other than that, I mean, it was really nothing to watch except for the Rams-Lions game. Easily the best game of the playoff. I said divisional round. What a wild card round. What a wild card round if you're a Niners fan. But other than that, it wasn't it.
Yeah, and I expect games to get closer as the rounds go on. But
for sure.
Let's talk about our dogs for a second. My dog, I'm gonna shoot it straight, did not hit. 8 carries, 33 yards, 32 yards actually, and Raheem Mostert was not it this weekend, and the whole team wasn't it. Yeah. Even Tyreek's touchdown, Tyreek wasn't a dog for this game. No one from Miami's team was truly a dog at all, and with that, obviously he did not hit, like I said. So my backup dog this week, I want to give a shout out, is Baker Mayfield. 22 for 36, 337, 3 TDs. And for him to be on 3 teams last year, this is his 4th team in 2 years. He was scout team defensive lineman in Carolina somehow. And he just put on a show. And obviously it could be cleaner numbers, right? But, what a journey for this guy to come and get a playoff win when no one expected it.
Yeah, no one. I mean, hey, what did I say early in the season, though? Did I call it or did I call it?
Yeah, you did.
Baker Mayfield was looking real comfortable in Tampa, and I think I said he was going to find himself a home. I think he found it. He won a playoff game.
He's at least got it locked in for next season.
Yeah.
Season at a time, but he's got it locked for next season.
Yep, I think, Baker Mayfield's looking good in Tampa Bay right now.
What about your dogs?
My dog, I'll take it. Amon-Ra didn't get in the end zone, but hey, 7 catches on 110 yards, average about 16 yards a catch.
That's pretty much the Lions' offense yesterday, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had some big catches. He did his thing. He's been doing his thing all season. I remember, I think it was last season he had that streak of 100 and something yards and 6 catches, or maybe it was double-digit receptions. And, I mean, he's just been elite ever since he got into the league. We were talking about earlier. Can't believe he fell in the draft. He's such a dog. And, I mean, he was my dog of the week, respectably.
Man, in our matchups, we both picked DB, or we both had a DB versus receiver, and both of them the DB won.
Yeah,
it doesn't usually happen that way.
Nope.
On our show, usually the offensive guy is winning our matchups, but for this week, your DB, go ahead.
I mean, L'Jarius Sneed versus Tyreek Hill. Sneed did his thing. He had 2 pass breakups and 1 jam.
Absolute to Cancun.
Yeah,
jam.
Like Tyreek said, he jammed his ass to Cancun. That was nasty. Jammed him to the ground. Obviously, it's slippery out there. It's cold. But he jammed him to the ground. Didn't let him up. He was probably getting in Tyreek's head. And then he must have allowed him to, I want to say, probably less than 10 yards because Tyreek had 60, actually less than 10 yards for sure because he had 60 total receiving yards. His touchdown was 53 yards. On McDuffie, not him. And then I saw another play. He had a little crossing route where he motioned and Sneed wasn't really on him. And he got about 10 yards right there. So that's all his yards right there. Sneed did his thing. He locked him up. And I mean, damn, I just did not expect that. I think I'm pretty sure I said Tyreek Hill was going to win because they needed him to if they were going to get the dub. And damn, he got locked up.
That one play, I get it, it's slippery, but to get locked up like that on national television, Ooh, that one's gonna repeat in Tyreek Hill's head this offseason and be like, damn, I got upped.
Yeah, that was nasty. Shout out Snead, dude. He held it down.
Yeah, and his name will come up later in the show for sure. But my matchup, Derek Stingley versus Amari Cooper. I will say, and you brought it up, very good point. Amari Cooper did look hurt. Like he looked like he wasn't playing full. But it's the playoffs. If you're 50%, you're going, and he played. So this matchup's a fair game.
Yep.
Derek Stingley won this matchup. One pass breakup, 2 solo tackles, held Amari Cooper to 4 receptions for 59 yards.
And those weren't on him either.
Yeah, they weren't.
They weren't on him. They're on the guy Steven Nelson or whatever. They weren't on Stingley. Stingley, I mean, dude, he did his thing. The first time they played him, was that the game when Amari Cooper had 200 or 260 yards against the Texans, was it?
Yeah.
And Stingley was not following him. This week, he followed him, and he locked him up.
Yeah, and the times he didn't were the times he got the yard.
Yep.
And so they had a great game plan. And Derek Stingley, shout out, because he doesn't get enough talk. He does not get talked about enough. And our little show is bringing him up. So, like, media, like, start bringing his name up because he's going to be a cornerstone piece for the Texans for years to come. He's a young buck and doing his thing.
For sure. That's all we got. Let's get into our favorite segment. It's time, baby. Last week we didn't have much to talk about.
It is time. Should we have our guest on right away, or should we talk about it a little bit before?
Let's get that cheesehead in here.
All right, guys. Welcome in, Jayce from Up Your Score podcast. And the format is changing now. What's up, guys? We got our guest, Jayce, on. You guys have seen his face. He's from Up Your Score podcast. You guys can find that on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. Please go check that out. He's put out some great content. He does it pretty often, too. Sometimes 2 episodes a week if we get lucky. Maybe 3, depending on how he's feeling. But go check that out. That's Up Your Score podcast. He's a great listen. But welcome in, Jayce. Thank you for coming on again.
Thank you guys for having me again.
It's only fitting. We got the Packers this week in the divisional round. And as you guys can see, for the ones that aren't watching, he's wearing a cheese head on his head. He has a Packers chain on. He's wearing a Watson jersey. Yeah, big Packers fan.
Big fan, yeah. He's a fan. For sure. And he's repping it well. You know, some Packers are probably feeling scared this week. I know I would be if I was a Packers fan. Hey,
oh, man.
It's going to be fun, though. I can't wait for Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this right now?
All right. So, my live reaction after we beat the Cowboys, obviously best game of the year. I'm like, all right, we got to play these guys again. These guys have had our number. But one thing I'll say is this. Rodgers ain't here anymore. The curse might be over. There's like a 2% chance, but it could happen. You never know.
Let's revisit those things that you're talking about right now. Let's go back to 2019. That was the Mostert game. He ran all over the Packers. We put up so many points, and the Packers put up a couple of touchdowns, but it was more of like dead time, you know.
Yeah,
that was just absolute blowout. I was at that game. It was awesome to watch as a 49er fan. Can't imagine your shoes, but that was 2019. 2021, it was in Green Bay. It was a crazy weather game.
No game.
And the 49ers didn't score a single touchdown on offense. We had a touchdown by a punt block by Hufanga taking it in. And we had, I think, 3 kicks by Robbie Gould that got us the win. And we were down the whole entire first half. We didn't even get the lead till the fourth quarter. It was a crazy game.
Scary game. Scary game for the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't have the lead until the buzzer was off, until you guys had the lead when you made that kick. You know, one thing I'll say is this. I think the key for the 49ers is very simple. They shouldn't keep changing what they've been doing. The way to beat us is to pound the run. It showed in 2019. Jimmy G threw the ball 8 times. 8 times.
He didn't throw a touchdown pass that playoff season.
Mostert ran for 250, had, I think, 3 touchdowns. I know Deebo ran one in as well. That was crazy. I mean, and then obviously 2021, I know that was just, that one hurts more for me because, like you guys said, we had that game, and then the block punt, man. I mean, it was just brutal. We knew
You
it
guys
was going to
also
be
had
a
a blocked field goal
low-scoring
in that game
game.
too.
Yeah, and I mean, that one hurt because I think that was the best Packer team we had. I think we easily would have beat the Rams. We already beat them earlier on that year. I think we would have beat the Bengals. We beat them earlier on that year as well. I think that was our best Packer team, and if all we had to do was get past you guys, and it's never easy. It's always a challenge.
Yep.
So
and I know we're bringing up the past, and rightfully so. It's playoffs. So you got to bring up the past, but these teams are different now. 2019, we're looking at our Super Bowl roster. There's not many guys on that Super Bowl roster that are still with the team. The others that some core guys, but really not many. 2021, there was a couple more, but even the Packers, new quarterback especially. We have a new quarterback. This game's throw out the past now that we brought it up, but it's a new day. The Packers are the number 7 seed. They weren't supposed to make it here. They're here.
First time ever.
Yeah.
7 seed won a playoff game.
So your 7 seed Packers, what do they have to do to get this job done for you to be happy on Saturday night?
Man, one thing I want to say is this real quick, because I'm an honest fan, even though I'm a diehard Packer fan. I don't think we win. I want to just embrace these last 4 days of my season. I'm happy we're here. You know, everyone said Jordan Love was going to be a bust. Everyone said we were going to finish last in our division. Everyone said we weren't going to make the playoffs. Everyone said we weren't going to finish above 500. I think up to this point, we've proved everyone wrong. Everything they've said has been wrong. So at the same time, you know, it would definitely surprise me if we win. But like at the same time, it wouldn't, because we keep proving people day after day that we're here. We can beat anyone in any given week.
So you're giving us some reverse psychology there.
But I'm just saying, at this point, everyone could beat anyone. You know, the Texans, they could beat the Ravens this week. You never know. But in order for the Packers to win, we know. The Niners got better at the running back position since the last time we played them. Last time we played them, they had Mitchell. Now he's the backup. And now we got to face the best running back in the league and the best offensive weapon in the league. It isn't getting easier for us. We also got to go up against the Niners D-line. I mean, that D-line on paper has to be the best depth in NFL history. I mean, your backups would start on our team right now. I mean, I'll take Gregory right now. I'll take Keenlaw. I'll take any of those guys. So I know Keenlaw's not a backup, but I'm just saying.
He is now because Armstead's back.
Oh, he is? Okay. Because I know you guys have Hargrave. He's a starter. You got Bosa. You got Chase Young for, was it a third-round pick?
Third-round pick that we get back.
That was honestly one of the biggest steals of the deadline for me. I mean, that was a steal. So,
and don't sleep on Eric Armstead.
He's coming back. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, no, I know him. Trust me. Fred Warner, obviously, in the middle. So the key for us is this. Got us pound the run. Aaron Jones, 4 straight 100-yard games. If there's a chance we're going to be in this game, it's going to be because of him. But also our guys up front have to try and be as physical, because I know more than anyone, the Niners always beat us because not only are they the better coach team, but they are way more physical than us. And we have to try and get on their level. They always dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And even when we have the better quarterback, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun game. I think we're all going to enjoy it. And, as long as we lose by less than 7, or if we win, I'll be satisfied. I'll be happy. I mean, I'm already kind of happy up to this point because, like I said, no one thought we were going to be one of the final 8 teams remaining. So I'm going to be optimistic. I hope we win. But as far as the keys for us, we just got to try and stop the run as much as we can. Obviously, we're not going to be able to lock up CMC. No one can. But if we can try and contain him, maybe under 100 yards if we get a crazy game. But, the key is just pound the run with Aaron Jones, stop the run, and Jordan Love keep making plays like he's been doing. So
you said, in past years, even though you guys had the better quarterback, who has the better quarterback now, in your opinion?
Oh, no, it's definitely Brock Purdy right now.
I love it.
Brock Purdy.
You're one of the few to respect him.
Rookie year last year coming in, obviously, if he didn't get hurt, you guys probably would have made the Super Bowl. No, I respect Brock Purdy. Obviously, his high school is like 15 minutes from my house. He went to
Oh,
Perry High
wow.
School. So,
Have
you
you
know, it
gone
would have
down to
been
his parents' hot tub shop?
yeah,
It's right there
no.
too.
I know. But yeah, no, I respect Brock Purdy. I mean, coming from Iowa State, obviously Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft, and just what he did last year, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, he did better this year, and he was an MVP candidate up to that point until he got benched against the Ravens. So, and that was really his only bad game of the year. So, you know, I respect him a lot. Obviously, right now he's the better quarterback, but you know, Jordan Love, he's probably as hot as anyone right now. At least the last 4 to 5 weeks.
You
You
guys
know,
are on
you
a
look
4-game
since
win streak too right now, right?
yeah, and you look since week 11, he's had 21 touchdowns and just one interception. He's not turning the ball over, he's making the right plays, and he keeps getting first downs and moving the chains. So that's the key. I know probably the biggest weakness I would say on your defense is that secondary. And I know you guys might not agree, but I know Hufanga's out. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
He's a big guy back there. You know, Lenore, I think he's your cornerback too. He's okay. I'm scared of Ward though. I know he's a dog. But again, our line has to hold up just enough because I know how good that front seven is. It's ridiculous. It's the best in the league. I know people would say Ravens have the best, at least this year. Statistically, yes, I probably agree to that. But on paper, I'm scared of your guys' front seven over the Ravens. I know Ravens have the best middle linebacker duo in the league. That's obvious. But besides that, I think you guys got the best front seven overall.
Hey,
And
don't forget
obviously the
about
best.
Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner.
Dude, I don't know about that, dude. Roquan's been a dog, and Patrick Queen, man. Oh,
They have,
that's
but
tough.
for sure.
But I'm giving it to my boys. Before we get into our dogs, for this game on offense and defense, Josh, I kind of want to hear your input and see where you kind of feel like what we need to do as a team, kind of what we have to do to get this win. Because any game in the playoffs, you punch your ticket, it could go either way, but we got to get some stuff done.
I think this is a case for a lot of games. I mean, anytime the run game is doing well, I mean, it opens up the whole playbook and just makes things move smoothly. So I think it's the same thing for the Niners. We got to stop the run. Aaron Jones has been on a run these past few games in the playoffs. I mean, he went insane last week. But we definitely got to contain him. You know, we got Armstead back, which is going to be huge. He's a run stuffer. He was playing some of his best football this season. I think that's going to be big time. And I mean, really on offense, same thing. We need to get McCaffrey going. I think we need to have another Mostert type game in 2019. And I could see it happening. He had a game like that against the Cardinals this season. He's had great games all season. So I could see it happening. We just need to get CMC going, dude.
Agreed. On offense, I'm the same way. CMC in this postseason, we have to run through him. I know our pass game could get it done, but it just opens up so much more when you're 9 in the box trying to stop CMC and then you get him out on top.
Yeah. Get Ayuk one-on-one. Oh.
Defense, Armstead and Hargrave have to have a game in stopping Aaron Jones. Don't let him get outside. Man, it's gonna be a challenge, but if there's two dudes in the league that I would put to that task, it's definitely those two. When they're both healthy, arguably the best in football together.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I know you said Armstead, he's got to get it done. Hargrave. I think the leader of that defense, you know, the technician, it's like having another coach out there on the field. Fred Warner, dude. I mean, he's at another level. He's unanimous All-Pro, the only defensive player to get it this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to lead that defense. When he's playing well, when he's taking the ball away and he's getting tackles in the backfield, I feel like we're unstoppable on defense.
Yeah.
I think he needs to have one of those games. And, I mean, he's played at an insane level all season. He's missed some tackles late in the season. I think it's time for him to step up big time in this playoff game.
I think for the Packers, man, like how if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us through the air. I think we're going to have to shut down Aaron Jones, and that will leave. Maybe we stuff the box a little more, and they'll have to beat us in the pass game. But I trust our DBs one-on-one out there. They've done it all season.
Yeah.
Where if the Packers truly want to win this game, they're going to have to beat us in the air, not Aaron Jones, because I think that will get stopped. And once we know they're passing in this situation, it'll help out our DBs even more. But that's the only way I see them winning this game, if it's possible.
And I mean, I think our secondary, they might be the weak link on the defense, but I mean, is there really a weak link? Tavarius Ward, first team All-Pro snub, had 5 interceptions to Sauce's 0, had double his pass breakups. He's a shutdown corner, and man, he really only gets caught passes on him when he's right there and they make an insane catch. Like he's locked down. Lenore only allowed 1 touchdown, and he's only allowed 1 touchdown moving back and forth from the slot to the outside. Wherever we ask him to go, he does it, no questions asked. He's going from having, run gaps and having to play run gaps to, going and playing outside. And he's just been going back and forth all along and constantly stepping up. I trust our secondary. I think,
Yeah.
I think you're probably right when you look at it on paper. I mean, we're stacked everywhere else. We got one of the best linebacker duos, if not the best. I mean, our D line, like you said, is insane. And I think that secondary is good too. Ambry Thomas, when he came in after Lenore had to go into the slot, he stepped up big time too.
Yeah. Let's get into our dogs and stuff. I know we've hinted at a couple names here and there, but who's your offensive dog for your Green Bay Packers?
That's a tough question. I want to say Aaron Jones. That's obviously the answer that probably 90% of the world's going to say right now. But I feel like that's what Niners are going to be prepping on because they know that that's our number one
Since the second quarter
weapon
of Saturday's game.
Yeah, you guys have been prepping since that. I saw that halfway through. Yeah, no, they know. I mean, Shanahan. I respect him in every aspect. He always has his team ready to go. He's the best play caller in the league. I don't even think it's close. And he knows that Aaron Jones is our best guy. He's also our guy with the most playoff experience on our team now. Obviously, with Rodgers gone, and I think the guy that has to step up is the guy who's probably missed, I want to say, 60, 70% of the year. And his name is Christian Watson. This guy has to show up. He's one of the fastest receivers in the league. He's 6'5". He runs a 4.3. I think he could honestly have a big play in this game. I really, truly believe that. I think if Jones starts running the ball well early on, play action can open up and Love can dump one in there. I think he's got to have a big, big impact on this game. I know we have Reed. I know we have Dobbs. Dontavian Wicks has been a really good guy for us as well. We got our 2 rookie tight ends, but it's got to be Christian Watson. If we want to have a chance, it's got to be him.
Okay. Yeah, he's a big play guy for sure. He's one of those guys like a Jameson Williams. I mean, obviously he's a rookie or whatever, but I mean, yeah, he's a big play guy for sure. You got to look out for him, especially, he's been out all season, like you said. They got to make sure not to forget about him.
All right, let's go to your defensive side of the ball. Who do you got there?
Defensive side of the ball.
Have sacks, a pick, something big.
Man, I want to say Jayce, but I don't even know if he's playing. He got hurt, obviously, in the third quarter last week. That's going to suck. Because I know, at least in 2021, he did a good job lining up against Debo in that game, and he contained them pretty well. I know you guys barely passed the ball that game, but I'm just saying. And if he's out, I mean, Ayuk's going to be wide open, or Debo's going to be wide open. And if at least I know if he's out there, we're going to try and contain one out of the 2 at least. I know you guys obviously have Kittle as well.
He's not even on the injury report.
Yeah, so, okay. That means he's probably playing. But for me, I'm not going to pick him because that was him last week. Or you can make the argument it was Darnell Savage who had the pick 6. But for me, it's got to be Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary's our best pass rusher. I think he's one of the most underrated pass rushers in the league. And I think he's got a good chance to have a big impact. You just line him up on the opposite side of Trent Williams. Mm-hmm. I think we might be okay. I think he could be, your guys' right tackle. I think Gary is a dog. And I think he could have multiple sacks. He could have a lot of pressures, which forces Purdy to get the ball out quicker. Could limit a lot of big plays, potentially. I think he's got to be that guy. So, yeah.
Okay. Josh, your offensive dog for the 49ers.
I mean, I think we know we have the same one here. It's got to be CMC. Brock Purdy, he can't be a slouch either this game. He's got to step up. He's played well in the playoffs when he's healthy. I mean, he only had 1 game, I guess, but we need Brock Purdy to step up too for sure. But CMC, he got hurt against the Eagles. Oh, he did play 2 games. Yeah, he beat the Cowboys and the Seahawks. But we need CMC to go off. Like I said, another Mostert type game in 2019. He's capable of it, more than capable of it. and that'll just open up so much when they're focusing on CMC. It just opens up everything. You got Kittle, you got Debo, you got Ayuk, we got Juwan Jennings coming back, who's going to be big in the run game too, blocking wise.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if CMC gets going, it opens up everything else. Leaves guys like Ayuk and Kittle and Debo one-on-one, and I think that's scary for any defense.
And let's not forget about Juszczyk. I know he's in the headlines all week with his wife's creations, which were awesome.
Past couple weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That
shout
Kelsey
out,
one was awesome.
Yeah. Shout out the Juszczyks for sure. But we have so many weapons, we didn't even name all of them. That's just crazy. But yeah, agreed. CMC's definitely got to be our offensive dog. Our defensive dog, I have Eric Armstead. I think that's going to be huge in shutting down Aaron Jones and have to make Green Bay, like I said, beat us in the pass game. It's hard to run. It's hard to run around a guy that's 6'8", the biggest guy on the field, fast. It's crazy his size, and I'm glad we have him back.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's going to be huge too. Like I said, playing his best ball this season, kind of going unnoticed too. Like he's one of those underrated guys too, for sure. He's a run stuffer. He gets after the quarterback. I don't know how many times I saw him this season doing his celebration. He's been a dog this year. I think that's big time, him coming back. But like I said, Fred Warner, when he's playing his best ball and he's getting takeaways, our defense is just unstoppable. And I mean, Fred Warner is one of the defensive players of the year. He's obviously not in it because it's hard as a middle linebacker, and maybe he didn't have his best games at the end of the season, but he played at another level all season.
Yeah, I think the scariest guy on your defense has to be Fred Warner. I think he's right there with Roquan as far as the best middle linebacker in the league. I mean, he's in every single play. It's crazy.
It's crazy that we're crediting Fred Warner right now, right? And we have the reigning defensive player of the year at edge that we all did not bring up right now.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned him.
That's insane to me right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Okay, so we gone over our dogs. We said our reasons for our teams to win. Let's go score prediction. And I know you're an honest Packers fan, but if give me the Packers winning score, and then give me your honest score because you don't predict them to win.
So if we win, it's going to be a last-second field goal. It's going to kind of be like Mason Crosby did in that regular season Week 3 game. I think that was 2021, 2 years ago. Yeah,
I was there front row for that game.
Oh, dude.
Oh, bro, it sucks.
I can't believe you guys gave us 37 seconds. I can't believe it, man. No, I'm just kidding.
And everyone was celebrating like we just won the game. And me and my brother are like, yo, chill. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, there's a lot of time left.
Devontae. Yeah. Yeah. So, if we win, it's going to literally be a last-second field goal at the buzzer. Maybe 31-28, something like that. Even though I think you guys are going to score 28, more than 28. But yeah, and then my honest score, I think Niners win by, I'm going to say less than 10. I think we covered the spread. Well, actually, I think the spread went down to 8.5. So it's neck and neck. I'm going to say you guys win something like 31-23 or 34-27, maybe. But yeah, I would say between 7 to 9 points.
Okay, Josh, your score?
I was thinking about it in my head, but I guess I forgot to write it down. I was thinking something like, I'm thinking like 38 to 24, 38-27, something like that too. I think a double-digit win, but I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I'm on the double-digit win. I have 35-17. We've won multiple games by 10 points or more, the most in the NFL this season. And I think we just start the playoffs hot and kind of roll, and we destroy that spread, and it ends up in a – and I kind of think those 17 points, a touchdown of that, is going to come in wasted time as well. So really you could say 35-10, but they'll get that wasted time or touchdown. I know. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good, bro. You're good. You're good. I hope we score more than 17. I hope, but hey, you never know. You never know.
Real quick before you go, why are you a Packers fan? You grew up in Cali. What took you to a Green Bay fan?
Everyone asks me this. You guys are gonna laugh at this story because it is a true story. So the first year I got into football, like really like watching it, okay? Because I didn't play football obviously growing up. I was a baseball guy. I played for 15 years.
I tried getting you to play football, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. No, my mom would never let me. But so I think 2010, 2011 season. At the beginning of the season, I told I was starting to get into football with a couple of my buddies that are big football guys. I said, you know what? Whoever does really good this season and whoever probably wins it all, that's just the team I'm going to cheer for. Because I didn't have any LA teams. Obviously, the Rams were in St. Louis at the time. Chargers were in San Diego. Rams were way up north, or not Rams. Niners were way up north. So I didn't have an LA team. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna go different in this league. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan. I'm an Angels fan. Anaheim Ducks, even though I barely watch hockey. But yeah, I'm gonna go on a different route here. And obviously the Packers won. They beat the Steelers that year, and I just fell in love with Aaron Rodgers in that season. I mean, just his arm talent in his prime with Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver. I mean, I just fell in love with him. I mean, I was like, this guy is probably going to, in that moment, I'm like, this guy's going to give us probably 2 more Super Bowls. And then obviously it didn't happen. But
thanks to the Niners.
Yeah, Niners or the Packers with that onside kick against the Seahawks. That game haunts me. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's why. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you can't hate on it. There's Cali people are fans of teams all over. A lot of people aren't from, like, their families aren't from California. They moved to California. So it's a lot of times you got fans of teams all over. So it's not that much of a surprise, especially, our age growing up, Aaron Rodgers was the man. I mean, my grandpa was a huge Packers fan. So I was always watching Packers games, always watching Aaron Rodgers, always loved him way more than Tom Brady. So I see where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah, I'm just glad the Steelers didn't win because the Steelers have been so bad. But yeah.
All right, man. Well, we want to say thank you for coming on. And like I said at the beginning when we pulled Jayce on, go check out his podcast, Up Your Score Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. Go hit that follow, subscribe, and go like some of his videos. Actually watch them and do your thing. Keep doing your thing. I know you're recording later tonight, so we'll let you go. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I'll text you guys later. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, bro.
All righty, guys. Yep. So that was our phone call with that cheesehead type of fan. You guys see, he's very passionate about the Packers.
And honest.
Real.
He's realistic.
Yeah. And
very realistic.
That takes some guts because honestly, if the Niners weren't the best team in football and I had it like, let's say roles reverse, I'm going in full confidence. Niners are still winning that game.
Delusional confidence, you could call it. I don't care. I'm riding for my team. But hey, I love the realness. I love it.
Yeah.
Especially when he does the podcast. He does the picks and everything. So that was big time.
And he didn't have to come on the show today. It was kind of last minute. Like the matchup was set, and he still took it, and he was honest about it, and he'll support his team till they're done. Like he said, like they've made it a lot further than anyone could have predicted this year. They found their quarterback for the future, and yeah, that's that. And thank you, Jayce, for coming on. Like we already said, thank you, but it takes a lot for someone to come on the show. Giving us a chance, giving him a chance to grow himself and his podcast and grow our podcast. So, yeah, just thank you for coming on. But let's get into picks for this divisional round. We got dogs and matchups, and we got to break down these games.
Yeah.
So let's keep this show rolling. Who's your dog for this week?
My dog of the week, I go with a lot of receivers. You go with a lot of quarterbacks. I'm going to go your way this time. Josh Allen. I think I've picked him before. I definitely have picked him before as my dog. And I think, we've seen it. Mahomes said, we're going to be doing this a lot. They're going to be playing each other a lot in the playoffs. And I mean, who would have thought towards the end of the regular season that they were going to be one of the 4 teams left in the AFC and they're playing each other in the playoffs again?
In Buffalo?
The script writers are up to one, dude. They know what they're doing. But I got Josh Allen having a big game. I think Mahomes could have a big game too, and it's probably going to be a shootout. But Josh Allen gets it done, and he gets I'm going to say probably. I think he covers his averages. He's averaging 250 passing and 50 rushing in the playoffs. I think he covers that easy.
Okay. I like that you brought it was going to be a shootout. So you haven't really said who you think's going to win the game, and we leave it at that. We'll talk about that when the game comes. Leave y'all on a cliffhanger for the next 5-10 minutes. My dog of the week is got to be C.J. Stroud. If they want to even have a chance to win this game, even if they lose this game, his numbers have to be good. Like there's no way they're going to win this game 7-0 or 7-3. Like for this game to be good on national television, CJ Stroud's got a ball and keep that rookie crazy year going into the playoffs. I think he's going to put up 2-3 tuds, and he's going to throw the ball a little bit more than last week. So I'm going to say like 35 attempts, 40 attempts, get in that good range for him. And he's going to have himself a day. I don't know if it'll be enough. Well, like we said, we'll get into those in a little bit. But yeah, I want to go CJ Stroud and stick with my quarterbacks as dogs.
I like it. Let's get into your matchup.
My matchup, coming off your matchup, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm taking him versus Stephon Diggs. I think this matchup could go crazy because we are expecting a shootout with you got Mahomes at quarterback for Kansas City, and then you got Buffalo and Josh Allen. So the ball's going to be in the air.
Yeah.
And I don't know if L'Jarius Sneed's going to have enough to stop Stephon Diggs every play, but he's not going to get absolutely beat, like, in a sense. Like, I think this matchup's going to be like one rep he's going to win, one rep Stephon Diggs is going to win. Like, and it's going to come down to who's going to be better in the red zone.
Yep.
That's who's going to win this matchup. And I'm still not sure, honestly, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What about your matchup?
My matchup, you mentioned this guy for your dog. My matchup is C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson. The quarterback matchup, I think we got some quarterback matchups.
Quarterbacks today.
I almost went Josh Allen versus Mahomes. It's another one. But
great matchup.
I'm going Stroud versus Lamar, Two just dogs. Lamar's been playing his ass off all season, playing efficient. Maybe not the best, numbers, not the most eye-popping numbers, but
still enough to probably win the MVP, which is crazy.
Yep, efficient football. And then you got Stroud, who's, lockdown offensive rookie of the year. Puka is a close second, but Stroud has balls all season. The way he played in the playoffs, obviously Jordan Love did the same, pretty much identical stats. But Stroud is just on another level right now, and Lamar as well. And I think both of them could have a good game. I don't doubt your matchup, but I think Lamar just has a better game. And ultimately, that could lead us into our games. First one, Texans-Ravens. I think that's when it gets it done for the Ravens, and I think I have the Ravens winning this one in a shootout.
All right, let me revisit my dog. C.J. Stroud does enough to upset the Ravens in the upset of the weekend, and it's going to be by 7. It's not even going to be by a last-second field goal to win the game. I think C.J. Stroud puts it on the Ravens defense, and for some reason, I just have that feeling. I think D'Amico Ryans holds the Ravens offense, which is going to help C.J. Stroud's case, right? And those halftime adjustments, like, this is going to be a full team effort, coach effort. The Ravens may look good in the first half, but I think that halftime adjustment by D'Amico Ryans is going to help the defense, stop them, and then C.J. Stroud's going to take over the game. It's just, that's how I see it playing, and that would be awesome if it plays out that way, and I wouldn't be mad at it.
All right, so we're on opposite sides for this one. I think, like I said earlier in the show, the Texans are the new Lions on the Can't Lose show. We're riding for them.
Unless we meet up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's when we'll stop.
But like Jayce, man, I'm trying to be realistic. And I think the Ravens are just, that defense. Then you got the offense, especially with, what's his name coming back, Mark Andrews. I know Isaiah Likely. He
the offense
came in.
Look better with Isaiah Likely.
Not only did they not miss a beat, they look better. Isaiah Likely has like 5 or 6 touchdowns since he came in, balling out of control. Same thing when he came in last season. I don't know why they don't get him in there more, even when Mark Andrews is healthy.
They need 2 double tight end sets.
Yeah, he's a dog. I just think the Ravens get it done, and I think they have too much firepower for the Texans. Texans are too young, and I just don't think that's going to be enough.
Okay. Let's go to the Packers-Niners game. Saturday Night Football. We've talked about this game in depth on this show, so Obviously, you guys know our point. But to reiterate, my score for that game, 35-17 Niners.
I can't remember what I just said to Jayce. I think it was like 38 to 38 to like I think I said maybe 27 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think we both said double digit win. I think it's a big win for the Niners going into the NFC Championship game. Not to look too far ahead, but I think it could be a big win for the Niners.
Hell yeah. Let's go to the Bucks at Lions. I want to hear your thoughts on this one first.
I think this is going to be probably another one of the closest games we see this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to come down to it. But I think Goff is going to keep playing efficient football. He's going to be more efficient than Baker Mayfield, and that's ultimately what's going to get it done. Baker Mayfield he had a lot of yards. He threw 3 touchdowns. He didn't throw an interception, but he had 14 incompletions to 22 completions. Not the most efficient, and I think Goff just gets it done with his efficiency. He's got the guys to throw to, and then that run game too. We've talked about it. We talked about it a lot in the 49ers segment with Jayce. When that run game is going and they have one of the best run games, probably the best with that O-line and that duo in Montgomery and Gibbs, Thunder and Lightning, they got a hell of a run game. And when that gets going, it opens up everything. And I think that's what's going to get it done. And I got Lions in this one.
Okay. So your Lions hype train is still rolling.
It's not a hype train. It's a realistic prediction. It's like me saying the Ravens are going to beat the Texans. Not a hype train anymore. Okay. I don't even fuck with the Lions.
Okay, yeah, it's playoffs. I was hoping. But mine's absolutely stopped, derailed, because I have the Bucks winning this game at a last-second field goal and almost that Detroit curse, that since Megatron issue. Like, it has not been lifted, and it survived last week, but you guys, let's revisit that curse after this weekend because the Bucks go in and win on a last-second field goal. Baker Mayfield does enough to keep the Bucks close, and kicker does the job at the end of the day.
All right.
Last game of the weekend, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Bills. This was your dog, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, my dog.
Your dog. I was gonna say matchup, but you didn't end up picking that matchup. I honestly have your dog performing very well, and it hands Patrick Mahomes his first attempt at a road victory in the playoffs as a loss by 10 plus points.
Whew. All right. I mean, I think it's going to be another. To be honest, I said the Bucks Lions is going to be the best and the closest. I think a lot of these games are going to be close, and I think this one is going to be just the same, but a shootout. I think it's going to be one of those games. The Chiefs defense has been great. The Bills defense has been getting a lot of takeaways, but I don't know. I just don't see them either team playing their best game on defense this week. I think both quarterbacks have big games, but I agree. I think Josh Allen gets it done. I think he has the better game, not only in the air passing, but obviously on the ground. I mean, we know Mahomes can get loose. We know he can run the ball, but he's not like Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a specimen. He's a freak, and I think that's what's going to carry them. I hate to be one of those guys because it kind of annoyed me all season when the media just kept saying Josh Allen and the Bills are that team. They're scary. They're one of the scariest teams. You constantly see them up there in the power rankings when they didn't have their best season. But Josh Allen is picking up at the right time.
The whole team is.
Yeah, he's throwing less picks, turning the ball over less, and that's scary for the league.
Yeah.
Scary for the Chiefs this week.
Before we totally get out of the NFL, I just want to say one thing and one thing only. Bang, bang,
Niner gang.
We'll see you Saturday night for that. But something that's happening after the game, hopefully while we're in a good mood, still riding high off of victory, is UFC 297. Mm-hmm. So let's get into that.
Yep.
There's not many fights I really want to talk about, and you've kind of hinted at. We're going to just talk about the main one. Sean Strickland versus, I do not know how to pronounce your first name, Duplessis.
Close enough. But hey, you got Deshaun Strickland versus the real African champ. I mean, dude, both of these guys, they know how to talk shit. They know how to get the crowd hyped.
Yes, sir.
They know how to put on a show. I'm excited for this fight. I mean, we're talking about it. It's tough. Duplessis, I mean, I almost forgot. I was thinking I've never watched him actually fight. I forgot, dude. He dominated Robert Whitaker in the last fight, and I mean, I think Robert Whitaker is a dog. I mean, yeah, he's lost a couple fights to Izzy, but that's Izzy. And then, dude,
Strickland coming off a dominant performance against Adesanya.
Yeah, straight dominating. I mean, he got most improved fighter. I saw. I don't know what exactly like who that was that voted in. I don't know if it was ESPN or what it was. He got the most improved fighter. I mean, from getting knocked out by Alex Pereira earlier in the year, I want to say it was. I think it might have been the same year, and then just coming back and dominating Izzy for what 5 rounds. I mean, I gotta go with Sean Strickland. It's funny to hear him. It's funny to see him as the champ. I think the storyline is so much better when he's a champion just because he's so funny, he's so wild, and he's so just like not what you think of a champion,
no.
You know?
And yeah, I have Strickland too, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way, only because his belt's been changed so many times in recent fights.
Yeah.
That it's hard to keep this belt surprisingly right now. It's not lasting more than 2-3 fights while you have it. It's changing. So I wouldn't be surprised, but yes, I agree. Strickland all the way on this fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, and you said it exactly. I wouldn't be surprised. It's UFC. They got the puncher's chance. Not only the puncher's chance, they got the kicking chance. They got the choking chance. Mm-hmm. Whatever, dude. Anything could happen in a fight. But like we said, Deshaun Strickland all the way. He's gonna be the reigning, defending, and still middleweight UFC champion.
Alrighty, man. Well, this has been a great episode. Thank you to all who made this possible. And if you guys are still here listening, that was some real ones for real. Deuces.
Deuces.
Two hearts,